Well, hey guys, Rusty here from Rusty's Bargain Warehouse. I just wanted to spend a bit of time today in this video showing you something that can sell for a good amount of money on different platforms like eBay or Etsy or places like that I like to sell. It's something that a lot of people don't realize can be very valuable, stuff that you may not care about. And stuff you might overlook. It could be stuff you have at your house. It could be stuff at your grandparents' house. Stuff that's just sitting in an attic or in a basement or in a closet someplace. And what I'm talking about are antique or vintage postcards. There are particular topics that people really like to collect. And I'm going to show you some of the ones that we've sold recently. I'm going to show you some of the ones we have in the warehouse right now to sell. And I'm going to give you a few pointers on specific topics, content, and just some details about cards that can make them valuable so that next time you see them, you'll know. Well, here we go. Here, guys, are a couple of different types that we've got sitting here at the warehouse to sell. You can see I have a whole box here, some vintage postcards, various topics. Different types of holidays, Valentine's Day, Christmas, birthdays, New Year's, things like that. Here's some old Christmas ones here, like a big old pile of these. Hooey, here's some Santa Claus. All right, old Santa Claus, particularly ones of Santa Claus, and I'm dropping them here. Goodness, Peaches, couldn't you have put these in a better stack? Particularly ones where Santa Claus is not wearing red. Here's one, he's got red there, but ones where he's wearing blue or purple robes or just different colors other than red. Those particularly can be can sell for some good money. These are all ones from roughly around very late 1800s, but mostly between around 1906 to the teens, 1914, 1915. Over here in another spot, I've got all these categorized as well. I got a bunch down in here. These are other ones from turn of the century Thanksgiving cards. Over here, I've got these separated out. You can see I have this one labeled Clapsaddle. Clapsaddle was one of the artists that did a bunch of different types of postcards back around turn of the century. New Year's. This is a really cool one here. Some Native American folk in a canoe. It's a Thanksgiving card. Here's one. This is a winch. Winch is the name of a company that made postcards. They had other artists that they employed, including somebody named Samuel Schmucker, who is quite sought after his cards. I've got a bunch up here as well. Here's some more. This one looks like Easter, some Easter postcards. Ones like this that have what they call it anthropomorphic characters, where essentially you're taking an animal and you're putting them in clothes, making them look as if they are like people, doing things that people would do, even though they're animals. Those are a collectible genre. Got some here from the World War I and II. I had them in there. I guess they're not in there now, but here we go, different holidays. I've got them all sorted out here. And when we buy these, oftentimes we buy these in bulk, hundreds or thousands at a time. And that allows us to get them at just a few cents per card. 20 cents, 30 cents. I like to spend less than 50 cents per card if I can. But a lot of these will sell for $5, $6 on the low end, all the way up into, honestly, into the hundreds. I've sold cards over $100 before. Several times, actually. I'm over here, put these in my light box. This is oftentimes where I photograph our items to ship. It's nice because you can see there's light. It's lit from the inside, and I can put a link in at some point here soon. I'm going to actually do this for a bunch of different items that we have purchased and we use on a regular basis to either clean, repair, photograph, and ship our items. Obviously, all of those stages require some types of products to help us with that. But I wanted to show you just some of these. This is an example of when I buy something in bulk. I might buy a box or two or multiple of these, and sometimes they are categorized, as you can see these were at one point in time, certain categories, but these have been sorted through and this and that. Just give you an idea of what we're talking about here. Here's one that's clearly this is done by a particular artist, and I don't know, I don't see the actual artist's name on this, but people who collect postcards of certain artists, they can recognize, you know, their art pretty early on. Here's one that's like a black and white of a cat baby. That was somebody's baby from 1908. Then you've also got postcards like a genre of ships. Can be particularly military ships, warships, which this one is, a USS Utah. There's a collector group out there for those kinds of things. This is a kind of a classic example of an early 1900s holiday card. This is a New Year's card. They used during that time. The horseshoe and sort of those superstitious symbols were used a lot on holiday cards. Like you can see the horseshoe here. Here's another one that is particularly it's a typical Christmas card, but it's you know, incorporated somebody's art, and you can see here that this is a Francis Brundage. Francis Brundage is an artist that, you know, is quite collectible within some circles. Interesting, they put the postcard upside down there. I could go on and on. There are various things that are scenes. There are holiday cards. There are street scenes. This is here in Wilmington, North Carolina. This is a Spanish mission in California. And so there's all kinds. And what I'm going to do in the description of this video is I'm going to write down maybe the top 10 categories to look for. And sometime here in the future, if you come back, I'm going to give some more details. Like I can take a deeper dive for those who are interested in postcards particularly. I wanted to take you guys through a few of these that we've sold over the last month or two. Most of these are postcard lots as opposed to individual cards. It just depends on the value of the card, whether or not we decide to sell it as a group or individually. But let's start off here with this one. It's it says Vintage World War I Real Photo War Postcards. There's a few things that have to do with these cards that make them desirable. First of all, they have to do with one of the world wars. There's a collector group out there for that. Second of all, they're older. Third of all, they are what they are considered real photo, or RPPC. They'll use that acronym a lot of times. Back in the day, earlier on in the turn of the century here, when photography was kind of in its infancy, people would sometimes make postcards that had actual images from an actual photograph on them, as opposed to something that was created by an artist. And in some cases, they're just a printing. In other cases, they are actually on photograph paper. It's a real photograph. The back is just made out so that it could be used as a postcard. And so that's what these are. These sold for $7.50. We were just a few cents in on each of these. It's not a big sale, but we still made money on that one. I'm going to go to the next one here. This is a large lot. It says enormous postcard lot, 800 vintage Christmas or greeting holiday cards. These are from early 1900s as well, and it could be various artists. It could be various things. The running theme, though, is that they are all Christmas cards. 800 cards, we were probably in, again, 20 cents or less, maybe 15 cents per card. So $600, that's a really good sale on, you know, a large lot. The next one up is another World War I photo war postcard lot. These were probably from the same group that we originally bought, and then we split them up into smaller lots to sell them. This one was $20.50 here. Moving on through these, here's another 500 card lot for $275. We sold these were Easter. So again, there are people out there looking for, they collect certain holiday cards. The best time to sell these cards is around a month to a month and a half before that holiday. So here we are, we're in January, we're getting ourselves primed and ready for the Easter and Valentine's. Those two are the next holidays coming up, the big ones that we're going to start posting things because interest kind of swells around that time for those particular types of cards. This was a really awesome one here. This is, again, this is a real photograph. If you kind of looked at the card from the side, which I'll show you in a future video, you can kind of see this iridescent look to it, and that kind of tells you that it's an actual photograph. These were taken in 1922 at this cattle ranch area in Hawaii, and so you've got these actual cowboys from back in the day, and they're you know herding this group of horses here. This was sold actually to someone in Hawaii, so that's exciting to see a person from that area wanting those cards back. The next one up is a couple of postcards that are of President Lincoln. These were in terrible condition as well. If you look real close, you can see that there are creases and bends and probably stains and rough edges, and it didn't even matter. Still, $10 sale on that. Probably spent roughly around 30 to 40 cents total on these two cards. Again, not life-changing money, but these are the things that add up over time. Next up is this World War I postcard lot. One is simply a postcard with no picture on it. It says it's from the War Department. It's got a cool cancellation there of the American flag with those stars. And then you've got this postcard that's in pretty rough condition, but it is a picture of an American soldier with a POW, a prisoner of war. I believe that's from Japan. It's a Japanese soldier that's a prisoner of war there. Next one up we've got is the Ellen Clapsaddle lot of postcards. All of these green ones here, I bet you can guess what holiday that is. These are all really cool art here. Again, this is Ellen Clapsaddle, one of a more collectible artists out there. She did a bunch of different art for postcards in this era. Her ones of Halloween scenes are the most valuable. In fact, Halloween in general is one of the more collectible genres of especially holiday cards. It would probably go Halloween first and then Christmas. Up next, I'm going to give you another one from Clapsaddle. This is various ones of hers, but you can see some really beautiful Christmas scenes here. Santa Claus with children, a little kid with a top hat popping up out of a boot or a sock or something. Super bizarre, but it's fun to see what these were like back in the day. I'm going to end us off here with this final one to kind of show you 6 postcards, $91. This is the power of the Halloween postcard. Anytime you come across old vintage Halloween postcards, as long as they're reasonable, I mean, I would still spend upwards. There's some I would pay $100 for because I'd know that it was going to sell for quite a bit more than that. But anytime you can find a Halloween postcard for $20 or less, it's probably a good purchase. That may be a little bit high, maybe $10. It still seems high for a postcard, but I would encourage you to get on eBay or some of these platforms and look up sold sales. You'll see the sold sales from the last 90 days. And these things are selling like hotcakes, and they're selling for really, really good money. This is just a few that we've sold in the last month or two. I've got thousands left in the warehouse here to sell. But we'll come back here soon with a video that can kind of give you a little bit more detail on what to look for. Always, content is probably the most important thing. Second of all would be condition. And then third of all is, really how much did it cost you to get, and what do you think you'll be able to sell it for? It's all about doing that research on eBay or these platforms you're going to sell on before you make that purchase. Hey there, everybody. If you like this video and you like getting little tasty tidbits, little facts, Firelight fairy tales, or artifact lore, come on back soon and subscribe to this channel so that you'll know when we drop some new stuff. Come back soon. We're going to talk this next time about a few things I got at a thrift store for $10 that I think I'm going to make at least 200 bones off of. Coming up soon. Rusty how to